yourself?
Very good, very good. We're having a big snowstorm here in Nova Scotia. Just shoveled a lot of snow.
You're in Nova Scotia? I thought you were in New York.
I got a New York number. That's all.
Oh, I see. Got it. Right on. Cool.
Jimmy, how's it going with the career?
Well, everything's going fine. I'm just hanging out, to be quite honest, taking some time and doing some other things and sort of things like that. How about you?
Me, I'm cleaning the driveway and taking out all this snow.
Yeah, you're in a blizzard right now. You're in a whiteout.
Yeah, and yeah. But besides that, I keep very busy with interviews and playing guitar.
Oh, you're a guitar player too. Great. Right on.
Who are you playing currently with?
Right now, I'm just doing some different projects. I'm working on just doing some drum clinics, and I just did a record up in Montreal last month, I think it was. So keeping busy.
So like this, you go out on flights and go to different studios and work with different people.
Yeah, that's well, sometimes it depends. Sometimes it's file sharing, where I'll get files with, click tracks or whatever, rough forms, and I'll just record, my drums in a studio here where I live to click. Or, sometimes you actually go to a studio and record with other people, but, with the internet and the economic situation, some people it's more affordable to just send you files and you do what you do with them and send them back to them. So I've been doing it both ways.
Very true, very true. And like that, does it work quite easily for you?
I go into the studio with other people and play, because a lot of times, I'm playing on somebody's record or playing on someone's demo or whatever it is, but it's a lot easier for me to get an understanding of what they want, where they're standing right there and we could talk about it as we're doing it, as opposed to getting tracks and then me making up a couple different versions in order to and see if they'll like one of them. So it's a little bit easier from a communication standpoint when you're actually there. And I enjoy that more anyway. I like, music's still pretty organic to me. I like actually being in a room and playing with other people, you know what I mean?
Doing much projects, you'd say? Like, let's say, how many do you do a year nowadays? Like that, sending files
it
online.
Depends. I mean, the previous 3 years I toured something like, I think it was 8-9 months a year. So I wasn't really doing other things other than touring because I was gone all year long. It doesn't really leave much time to do outside projects. But, the past year I've been doing some other things. And, I'll do, it just depends. It's hard to say. It's just whatever comes up, if I can do it, if it's it's something I'm interested in doing. So, it could be a few, it could be a lot. It just really depends right now.
Jimmy, what's your take on the SOPA and PIPA laws that they're coming out with in the United States?
I haven't. I've heard about it. I'm not fully up to date on what's going on with that, so maybe you can enlighten me at some point.
Well, it's basically that everybody that's downloading the music nowadays, they just want to stop it, and for the movies, because the people go crazy and download everything nowadays, and musicians don't get what they should, in compensations.
Well, yeah, it's been a problem for a long time. I mean, a lot of it's been, regulated with iTunes and things like that. I think it's a lot of that's been worked out, but it's like the Wild West out there. You know what I mean? It's like if you don't want to pay for something, you can certainly find it for free. It's just the way it is, and it's been an uphill battle for, I don't know, going back to the late '90s when this all started. So that's why you see more people touring, because their other streams of revenue have been cut so dramatically, where they're not making their royalties or this or that or the other thing that they're used to, so they have to tour more to compensate.
And sell more merchandise like that.
Well, yeah, that's exactly right. And, the other thing is, too, I mean, we had this problem years ago. We were doing, I don't even remember what band it was, but we would do a record, and the record wouldn't even be out yet, and people would have it online because it leaked somewhere from the record company, from the mastering studio, from the CD cutting facility. Someone always grabs a copy and they leak it, and before you even have it in the stores to sell, someone's already got it.
Yeah.
So it's just what it is. It's going to be a hard situation to rectify.
Now, Jimmy, with endorsements and stuff, what are you endorsing like currently, or do you have any new endorsements coming out that we'll see?
Not really. The same ones I've been using for a long time. It's Pearl drums and Sabian cymbals, Promark drumsticks, and Evans drumheads are like my four majors. I've been with all those companies for, God, most of them like between 10 and 15 years, even longer.
Now, let's say you said you're doing a lot of clinics and stuff. How's it going playing a clinic compared to playing a concert? Because here you get to meet the people at a certain level and, answer questions at the same time and, get something that's going to last a lifetime to these people that they're going to see from you.
Yeah, the clinics are cool because it's a lot more streamlined in touring, because if I go and do like a clinic run, it's usually just me and a company rep and maybe one other person to do sound, as opposed to when you're touring where you're talking an entourage of like 20, 25 people or more. So it's a lot, you can get in there pretty quick and get out of there pretty quick, and there's a lot less drama going on. So it's just really go in and set up a drum set and play, and talk to people and explain things. It's fun. I mean, I like doing them because you get to meet kids, and you hear what they're into doing right now, what they're trying to learn, and you can explain things obviously in a one-on-one situation. And it's funny because I learn from them too, because when you do them, people ask you things like, what is this one fill you played? What is this one beat you played? What is this? And some of these are going back a few years where I have to actually think about it, where I haven't played that song in 10 years. I have to think about what I'm doing.
Right.
And so it's kind of fun. It's challenging at times, but it's definitely enjoyable.
And like that, when you go on the road to do a clinic, you keep up to date on doing the best you can as well.
Well, yeah, it definitely keeps you on your toes, because you have to go out there and people want to see you. They want to see you at your best. There's no it's like and like I said, with a concert, there's so much going on. There's 4 or 5 other guys there in front of you, and there's all the action going on. So it's they're a lot of times really not focused on the drummer. So now when they just see the drummer by themselves, they're really focused on everything you do, and they're you have to definitely be on top of your game. So that's why, like I said, it's fun, because it's a completely different setting than doing a live show.
There's something I see interesting on your Wikipedia page, The Ultimate Sin, Ozzy Osbourne. It says you're a session drummer on that. Can you explain me that?
Yeah, that's that's going back a long time. Back in the mid-'80s.
86, 85, something like that?
Yeah, I think it was I want to say late '85. I got hired by Ozzy when they were changing bands and changing players in the band, but they were writing the Ultimate Sin record, and that was when Jakey Lee and Bob Daisley was in the band. And we wrote a bunch of songs, and I think we demoed about, I don't know, 4 to 10. I still have the CD someplace. And we wrote a bunch of songs, and during the course of that, Bob Daisley left the band, and then we had some different bass players come in, and then we went on hiatus because Ozzy was going back to do Black Sabbath, and that's when they did the Live Aid show.
Right.
So yeah, I think that was 85 then.
That would be 85, yeah.
Yeah. So, and so we all went on hiatus, and I guess I wanted to do something else. I went on tour with a band called Mama's Boys, because the producer recommended me to them because they needed a drummer to do this one tour. They were opening for Gary Moore, so I definitely wanted to do that. And I'm trying to think what happened. So, and I think the record company wanted a different producer. I think it was Ron Nevison. He's the producer that had a lot of success at the time period with Hart. In some other bands, he was getting a lot of stuff on the radio, so they wanted a more radio-friendly sort of record. And they had Ron do the record, and they just used a different band. I think Randy Castillo did it at that point for a while. And so that was basically it. And I just kind of kept doing what I was doing. And I think about a year later, I wound up joining Y&T, I think.
There's session tapes that exist with you playing with this lineup and with different songs from the Ultimate Sin era.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's good stuff. It's just, when they redid the tracks that were that wound up being on the record, I talked to Randy about it. They just basically copied all the parts because the tracks were good, but they weren't gonna have tracks from two different producers on the record when they're already paying one producer to do it. So, that was kind of like my foot in the, I got my foot in the door of the business. So it was fun. It was a good time. It was, eye-opening, to say the least.
Well, that's incredible. That's a new one for me, and I'd like to, I'm sure that the people that are going to be checking this interview out is going to question themselves now.
Stuff like that, you'll see. I've known different guys that have been in Ozzy's band over the years. I know there's different versions of different records out there, you know what I mean? There's things that do get recorded and for whatever reason don't get released or due to whatever reason, but there's all sorts of like black market interesting outtakes like that.
So like this, you're not appearing on the album itself, it's just on these sessions?
No, I'm not on the record. They thanked me on the record, I'm sure of that, but the actual tracks were not on the record, I don't think.
Now Jimmy, for 2012, anything big we're going to be seeing from you?
I don't know yet. The year just started. It's hard to say. We'll see what happens as the year progresses. You know what I mean? Depends what comes up or who I wind up going on tour with, or that's because basically, as each year goes by, I played like the last couple of years I did with Alice Cooper and that came out of the blue, and I didn't expect to go back and do that again. But we'll see what happens this year. Something that's fun or something different that I want to do, then I'll certainly go out and tour again. But like I said, I don't really have anything etched in stone at this point. I wish I had something more exciting to tell you, but I don't.
Well, we'll have to catch up in 6 months from now.
Yeah, exactly.
You keep up to date with Megadeth still?
No. I know you're hoping for a more elaborate answer than that, but no, I'm sorry I don't.
No, that's fine. Hope you get a great 2012, and you're going to find some good work, I'm sure, with your technique, which is incredible, on the drums.
Oh, thank you.
And you just keep on doing the great stuff. Impressed that you played in a session of Ozzy Osbourne's Ultimate Sin, which I never knew. So that's incredible.
Yeah, well, maybe if I get some time, I'll burn you a disc and shoot it off to you. That'd
be a pleasure. Well, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think there's only 3 people on the planet that have that right now. It's funny. I'd actually have to find that. I haven't seen that in so long. You know what I mean? It's something. I archive everything I have, but it's in like a bunch of boxes someplace I haven't seen in a few years.
So Jimmy, it's not on cassette. It's on CD.
No, I had it on cassette. And a long time ago, a friend of mine said, you should let me bounce all that, because I have a lot of stuff from a lot of different bands on cassette, because that was what we used at the time, were DAPs. And he said, you should let me bounce it all down to CDs for you, because then, the quality won't suffer,
right,
as, the tape gets older or something. And I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds like a really good idea. So I have a bunch of stuff somewhere that's all archived, but I really don't dig it up very often and listen to it, to be quite honest. But yeah, if I dig it up, I'll shoot you a copy.
I appreciate that, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people asking about this in the future.
Okay.
That's cool, Jimmy. I appreciate you taking the time and talking with me on this subjects.
Sure, Jason. It's been a pleasure. I hope you get dug out of your driveway okay. I know you're getting brutalized by a storm right now.
Well, I hope so too, because we all have to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah, right. I know. I have to get out of my driveway.
All right, Jimmy. You have a good one.
All right. Thanks so much, Jason.
Okay. You have a good one. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.